Hello noobs. LOL. This is a guide for hybrid retribution holy paladin builds. This guide will explain the mechanics and skills etc. that I know about for hybrid retribution holy. We will not cover hybrid shaman builds in this guide as I have very little experience with them. About me. I'm a seasonal scrub and I've played S3, S4 and now S5 as different hybrid builds. Retribution Holy Nova. I returned to S5 last weekend after getting some great skills. I managed to get to 2.2k 1v1 rating with the build we will discuss here. Please note that this is my view on hybrid retribution holy and there may be a better way to build it. This guide is about how I built my toon. Enjoy. What is a hybrid? A hybrid uses both attack power and spell power for the damage stats. A hybrid uses spells and abilities that scale of attack power and spell power. A retribution holy hybrid mostly uses spells and abilities from the retribution and holy paladin skill trees. About seals and judgments and Frostbrand. Seals do damage when you auto-attack or use Judgment, Divine Storm, Crusader Strike. Judgment is another spell that unleashes a seal to do damage. This attack is a spell, but it counts as a ranged melee attack in that it uses melee hit and crit chance. Frostbrand has a chance to do frost damage on auto-attacks and melee abilities. This adds extra damage on your auto-attacks, Judgment, Divine Storm, Crusader Strike. The combined damage of, for example, Judgment, Seal, Frostbrand is what makes hybrids do crazy damage. Let's say Judgment does a 1.2k crit. Well, that's not too impressive. But let's add Seal of Righteousness 400 damage and then Frostbrand 300 damage and we get 1.9k damage. Seal of Righteousness scales with weapon attack speed, 7.20% of spell power and 0.85% of attack power. Seal of Righteousness Judgment scales with 35.50% of spell power and 22.50% of attack power. For Seal of Righteousness, a slow attacking two-handed weapon will give the most seal damage. Preferably a staff for the 7% spell damage and healing increase. And as you can see, the damage scales better with spell power. Seal of Command scales with weapon damage, 0% of spell power and 5% of attack power. Seal of Command Judgment scales with 15% of spell power and 14% of attack power. With Seal of Command you will want a two-handed weapon with high top-end damage. Seal of Command generally scales better with attack power, weapon damage. Note these values are old and may not be up to date, but I think it gives a good image of what the difference in Seal of Righteousness and Seal of Command is. What spells should I aim to have? Core spells. Seal of Righteousness, Judgment, Frostbrand. Must-have spells, Gap Closers, Exorcism, Flash of Light, Holy Shock, Divine Storm. Nice to have, Hammer of Wrath, Stuns, any heal over time, get as many as possible, Power Word Shield, Life Tap. If you don't have this you will need to invest 3 talent points for mana sustain. Buffs. Lots of them. Level 1 starter decks. Seal of Righteousness. Judgment. Charge. The last ability should be one of the following listed in order of importance: Life Tap, Summon Him, Sprint, Rejuvenation, Renew, Sinister Strike. Other spells can be used if you don't want to spend a billion hours at level 1. Roll to level 20 and use all your rerolls to try to get Frostbrand. If you do not hit Frostbrand by level 30, then reroll. LOL. Getting the right spells on a hybrid will be your biggest challenge. I've leveled 50 plus hybrid toons in S3, S4 and S5 combined. Required random enchants. Seals of the Pure ×3. Sanctity of Battle ×3. Sanctified Light ×3. Infusion of Light ×1. The rest is up to you. Playstyle. Although we have melee abilities, we play mostly from ranged and only engage in melee when it is needed. We are not building tanky, we rely on our burst and healing power to survive. Basic combo: Judgment, Exorcism, Hammer of Wrath. For defenses we rely on our healing sustain from Holy Shock, Flash of Light and hopefully multiple heal over times. Holy Shock should have around 35% crit chance, and when it crits you also get a free Flash of Light. Careful, if you have an Art of War and Infusion of Light procced, using Flash of Light will consume both buffs. Mobility spells like Blink, Sprint, Power Word, Shield with Body and Soul Talent should be used to disengage and reset the fight. Since we can do most of our damage from range, you don't really need to be close up to your targets. You will not be able to fast tank damage, you'll at some point in most fights have to reset the fight and heal up, which we can do fairly fast. Holy Shock and Flash of Light crit should heal for around 3k total. The problem starts when you have a healing reduction effect on you. Mortal Strike, etc. The best way to counter this is to try and sustain while doing damage, then reset via traps, mobility, stuns and let the healing reduction fall off, then heal up with Holy Shock and Flash of Light. Hope you enjoyed the build guide.